One of the most commonly asked questions about airplane windows is why are they not squares? So the first commercial jetliner that actually did take off was called the DeHavilland Comet. It did have square windows. The thing was, what happened is that at these pressure points, these right corners, it was found that there's 2 to 3 times more pressure than was being applied to the straight edges of the windows, which is okay for the first couple of flights, maybe 1, 2, all the way up to maybe 30 flights. But what happens is that as the pressure on this corner or any windows, as airplane maintenance always checks, is applied and released, the amount of stress that was in these corners was building up. So eventually you get to a flight where the joints are too weak to handle this pressure change, and then you're gonna get fractures from the corner of the window. So the airline was designed to handle fractures. If they were to go from window to window, the other window would stop the fracture. Wouldn't be a great situation, but the plane would land just fine and then they'd get it all fixed up. But what happened is the fractures that were going up off of the right cornered window, they were going across the entire shell of the airplane, and then they would lose panels, and then because of this, we're gonna have a rush of air inside the plane, which is gonna cause depressurization where the plane is gonna crash. So this actually happened to 2 of the planes that took off with these right cornered windows. They both fell apart midair, and then after that, all of the planes were grounded. So now that's why in modern day, you're gonna see airlines that have these more circular windows, because it's applying all of this pressure evenly around all of the edges. We're also gonna have this nowadays, which is something that zoomed in really close is gonna look like that. That's called a breathing hole. It's gonna be a little tiny hole that's gonna separate the 3 different layers of acrylic that are making up this window. That's gonna allow pressurization to happen more naturally from the airplane to the outside of the window. It's also gonna make sure that in between those layers of acrylic, it's not gonna implode suddenly, because that wouldn't be good. The outermost layer of acrylic is gonna be that strongest layer of acrylic. That's the one that's meant to handle the most pressurization and depressurization. That middle layer of acrylic is gonna be more of a fail-safe for the window, where if the out one fails, that one's good to go, at least until the plane lands. And then the innermost window is more to protect the guests than to handle pressurization. So if both of them were to fail, it wouldn't be a good situation, but it could probably still handle it for the rest of the flight. But that is why they are no longer squares and they are now rounded edges, because with this, you're gonna have buildup of pressure where this is gonna apply it all evenly, and you're not gonna have the chance of your plane failing in the middle of a flight.